Hello and welcome to Sammy's Bookshelf. I'm Sammy and today I am going to be showing you my most anticipated releases of 2022. First book that I'm highly anticipating is of course House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I have talked about how excited I am for this book in multiple other videos, so I'm not going to ramble on for too long, but if you don't know, House of Sky and Breath is the sequel to Crescent City House of Earth and Blood. That was my favourite book that I read in 2021, so obviously I am very excited for the sequel. I am very excited to see where Sarah J Maas is going to go with this series. There are so many different directions it can go, and so I'm very excited to see what she does. I'm sure whatever she does do is going to be great because Sarah J Maas is amazing. I have also pre-ordered the book, so hopefully it comes to me on release day. If it doesn't, I'm going to be so sad because I need to read that book as soon as it comes out because I do not want to get spoiled. Like, it's scary out there on Bookstagram, okay? Spoilers float everywhere. Sarah J Maas has also started releasing little teasers on her Instagram of dialogue from the book, and I've been kind of trying to avoid it because I just don't want to see anything. I just want to see everything for the first time when I read it. I'm so excited for this book. It literally comes out next month and it's gonna be great. This next anticipated book is another book that I've talked about in length in other videos, so again I'm not going to ramble on for too long, but this book is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is the third and final book in the Last Hours trilogy, which of course follows all the children from the Infernal Devices trilogy. I am very excited for Chain of Thorns because Chain of Iron finished in a very interesting way. If you've read Chain of Iron, you know what I'm talking about, but it ended in a way that I just need this next book. I have to wait till November for it. I don't know how I'm going to wait for November. Like, it's going to drive me crazy, but I'm so excited. I am planning to do a reread of the first two books before the third book comes out, so it's all fresh in my brain and I can go into the third book remembering everything and enjoy it to its full potential. I'm so excited to see all the romances come to fruition, and I'm also terrified because I love all these characters so much. They are so well written. I want them to all be okay. I'm really scared about who's gonna die. I don't want any of them to die, but I have a feeling someone is not gonna make it, and I'm very nervous about it. So I just need the third book so I can be put out of my misery and just know what happens. So I'm very excited for Chain of Thorns. My next book is Kingdom of the Feared by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the third and final book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. Now, I have actually not read the first two books, but I do plan on reading them like the month before Kingdom of the Feared comes out so that I can enjoy the finale with everybody else. And also, I've heard so many great things about this series, especially about the love interest of Wrath and the enemies to lovers romance in this book. And also it's got witches and a murder mystery, so it just seems like something that would be right up my alley. So I'm really excited that the third book is coming out so that I can kind of binge read the whole thing and not have to wait too long for the finale. Next we have One True Loves by Alyson Bryant. Now, you're probably seeing a trend by this point that a lot of my anticipated books are sequels to books that came out last year, but One True Loves is the sequel to Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant, and I read Happily Ever Afters last year and really enjoyed it, and so I'm excited to read the companion novel. The protagonist in this book is a friend of the main character in the first book. This follows the character of Lenore, and she has just graduated high school and she plans to go to NYU. However, she has absolutely no idea what she's going to study. She is completely in the unknown. But she goes on a cruise with her parents during the summer and she ends up meeting a boy named Alex who is the complete opposite. He has a 10-year plan and knows exactly what he's going to do, and Lenore finds him absolutely irritating. But they end up stuck together for the duration of the cruise and they end up bonding and falling in love, hopefully. Really excited to read this. Like I said, the first book was super cute, and so I'm really excited to read this one. From the synopsis, it seems like it's going to be just as cute as the first book. And you know, who doesn't love a kind of forced proximity romance? I know I do, so I'm very excited for this book. book. My next anticipated read is She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Alyson Derrick. Last year, you may remember, I read The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott and I absolutely loved it. I had never read a Rachel Lippincott book before, but The Lucky List was just so good. It was such a fast read, it was emotional, the romance was really cute, and so when I discovered that Rachel Lippincott is coming out with a new book, obviously I want to read it. I want to read more Rachel Lippincott stories. So this book seems really cute. It's about two girls who are kind of opposites, but they both have crushes on two other girls respectively, and so they try to help each other get the girl. So they connect and together they come up with a 5-step plan to get the girls they have crushes on to fall in love with them. But along the way, they kind of start to fall for each other. This seems so adorable. I know it's gonna be super cute because of the romance from The Lucky List. If it's anything like that, it's gonna be so much fun. The next book I am anticipating is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This past year, I read People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read, and I especially love People We Meet on Vacation. It was in my honorable mentions for my top books of the year. I absolutely loved it. It was so cute. And now Emily Henry is coming out with a new book called Book Lovers, and it is not only a contemporary romance just like People Meet on Vacation, but it is also an enemies to lovers romance. And if you don't know, my favorite trope is enemies to lovers. I can read enemies to lovers all day and not get sick of it, and so I am so excited for this book. This follows two characters, a girl who is a literary agent and a boy who is an editor, and they both end up in Sunshine Falls in North Carolina for the summer, and they end up running into each other, but they have met multiple times before and it has never been good. They are not on good terms, but they are stuck together in Sunshine Falls for the summer and things just may change. I am very excited for this book. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I've loved all of Emily Henry's previous books, so I'm sure I will love this one. My next anticipated read is I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. If you don't know, Casey McQuiston also wrote Red, White and Royal Blue, and she also wrote One Last Stop, which I haven't read yet, but I'm going to, and I know that I will love that one too. I Kissed Shara Wheeler is about a girl named Chloe, and she has one major goal, and that is she wants to win a valedictorian at the end of her senior year. Her only obstacle is her biggest rival, Shara Wheeler. But a month before graduation, Chloe and Shara Wheeler end up kissing, and then Shara Wheeler vanishes. On a hunt for answers, Chloe realizes that she is not the only person that Shara Wheeler kissed, and the only thing that her and these other people have in common is that they all were left cryptic notes by Shara. So they all band together in order to figure out the mystery of what happened to Shara Wheeler, and along the way Chloe figures out that there may be more to this town than she originally thought. The premise of this book just sounds so interesting. It's something that I love about Casey McQuiston's books, even though I've only read one of them so far, but they all just seem very different and I really love that. I love a good mystery in a book, and so I'm sure the mystery in this one is going to be so great and so well written. This is also listed as a rom-com, so I'm really excited to see the comedic elements in this book as well. Casey McQuiston is a great author, so I'm so excited to see what she has in store for us in this book. The next book is Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. This is the sequel to Tokyo Ever After, which is about a girl named Izumi who discovers that her father is a prince of Japan, and she goes to Japan to meet him, and chaos and romance ensues. The first book was a lot of fun. I loved the romance and I loved the kind of Princess Diaries vibe in the book, so I'm really excited to see what happens to the characters in the sequel. I really loved all the characters, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen to them. There is also apparently supposed to be a wedding in this book, and who doesn't love a good royal wedding, am I right? It seems like it's going to be really great. I am super excited. Next we have This Is Not the Real World by Anna Kerri. This is the sequel to This Is Not the Jess Show, which I read early last year. This Is Not the Jess Show was a really interesting book. It had a very Black Mirror vibe to it, and it was super interesting and intriguing. In my opinion, if you have not read that book yet and you want to, just go into it knowing nothing. That's the best way to read the book. But this is the sequel, and I'm really excited because I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. The last book didn't actually end in a cliffhanger. It could have been a standalone, but there were still a lot of questions that I had about this world and the specific situation that they're in, how that is all going to play out. So I'm really excited that I'm hopefully going to get my questions answered in this book. The next book is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, which is the sequel to The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood, which I also read last year and loved. This is a companion sequel, and I believe it is an enemies to lovers romance, which of course I love. So this follows characters B and Levi, and Levi has not been a fan of B since grad school, but they end up working together in a lab, and again Levi makes it very clear he wants nothing to do with B, even though he did catch her in his arms like a damsel in distress the first day in the lab, hence the book cover. But when things for B start to go a little wrong, she finds Levi softening up to her and becoming an ally and trying to help her sort through her problems. I'm sure this book is going to be adorable. The Love Hypothesis was adorable, so I'm sure this is going to be adorable too. It's in that kind of STEM science setting once again, which is really fun and unique. I also really hope just a little bit that we might get to see Adam and Olive just make a little cameo in this book. One of the things that I love about companion series and contemporary books is seeing the couple from the previous book in the next books. Even though their stories are over, it's still nice to see them, catch up with them, make sure they're all good, that the romance is still thriving. So hopefully we get to see Adam and Olive in this book as well. Just for one scene, just a little cameo. I'm sure we will. I'm sure they'll make some sort of appearance, but I'm very excited for this book. The next book I'm very excited about because it is a sequel to a book that I read when I was 14, and this year I am turning 20. I've been waiting for like 6 years for this book, and I am so incredibly excited, and that is The Lost Medal by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 7th book in the Mistborn series and the 4th book in Mistborn Era 2, the Wax and Wayne series. You don't even understand my excitement. When I first read the last book in Mistborn, the last released book, the expected release date was 2018 and I read it in 2016. Already, with the last book ending in a cliffhanger, 2 years was already so long to have to wait, and then it got pushed back to 2019, and then on Goodreads the expected publication date just disappeared. But I have been stalking Brandon Sanderson's website for the past 5 years, and on his website he usually has what books he's working on and what books he's completed or what draft of a book he's on, and I saw him start Mistborn number 7, and I watched that little bar go up and up and up, and it is finally coming out. I think the expected publication date is November, so still a little while to wait, but like the time I have to wait from now to November is like so short compared to the 5 years prior that I've been waiting for this book. I am so incredibly excited. The Mistborn series is my favorite series of all time. I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in this next book. I'm also really excited to do a big binge read of the whole series. I'm so excited for this book, you have no idea. The very last book I have on my list that I'm highly anticipating is the untitled sequel to Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. I read Defy the Night a couple months ago and I really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited for the sequel. I loved the characters and the romance, and I'm very excited to see more of the side characters fleshed out more in the second book, and also just excited to see where the story is going to go. There are 1,000 places it can go, and so I'm very excited to see what Bridget Kemmerer has in store for this book. Those are all my highly anticipated releases of 2022. I'm sure more anticipated releases will pop up throughout the year, but for right now, these are the ones I'm most excited for. Let me know what your most anticipated reads for 2022 are. Do you have any in common with me? And I will see you next time. Bye!